Mridangaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, good morning, everyone. There is a lot of stuff to get through. I'm not going to be able to get through it all, so I'm going to have to break it up into a couple classes. But we're going to touch on the deredere, deregenas again. I'm going to actually do most of the class. So what I've decided is I've actually spent a lot of time, as I said before, writing mantras, correcting things, going through all the stuff and books and everything, and Bob Blue's teachings and Bhima Karma's teachings, etc. And just putting the Hatutus in taal, but that taal has been focused mostly on just 4/4 time, or in Prabhupada's, Das Behara taal. So I decided that that's not really the best way to learn, because everyone just takes the easy route with teaching. They teach in 4/4 time, and they just teach kind of endlessly, and you don't learn how to use a lot of stuff in different taals, and I just don't think that's super practical. So now I'm taking a little extra time before the classes and trying to write at least some mantras from each Hatuti or hand practice, etc. in Lofa taal. So at least we're going to build Lofa taal, which most people, are interested in learning, and Das Behara taal kind of simultaneously. And then those two branches aren't gonna kind of disconnect, where you've just learned 6 months of one taal, and then you don't know how to play the rest. So we're gonna go back to the derederes just for a little bit. Then we're going to touch more on the Genetere ketas, Genetere tereketas, which we started on last time, where we're going Kene, which is a different style. Genetere, keta. And once we get through that, then I want to start introducing what I showed last time with the tiki or teke taketere ketas. So Bablu teaches Teketake. There's a lot of words, a lot of vocabularies that really are unnecessary, I find, in Mridanga, because a T is something else, and why are we calling this Teketake? And there's just so many kind of flowery words for things that tend to confuse players, and in my opinion aren't necessary, because a hit is a hit, and you can designate it a certain way, and then you can just use that through the rest of the system. So we've learned tere, so if we're going te first, why is this tiki? It doesn't make any sense. So we're going te, K. We know this is a K. We know this is a te. So instead of tiki-taki, we're going teketake. Just small adjustments, but it makes it a lot easier to read on the whole, because you don't have to keep looking up what this is, what that is. And so I'm going to show that, which I've never seen anyone show before, different variations. It's basic. We don't have so much stuff that we've learned yet, and obviously these mantras are still quite rudimentary. They may not flow as nicely. You might have tereketas twice under the fill spaces and things like that, and that's fine, but it helps you to build that strength of keeping a beat and learning your hand practice in different taals. And as you learn more hits, more bowls, more techniques, obviously you can write mantras that are a lot more efficient, and where each hit flows nicely, and and then everything just starts to come together more. And then we'll show that in a full kind of exposition. You could call it a Hatuti, but everything's written in taal. So this you could start right from Hare Krishna, and it goes through a whole series of Teketakes and Lofa taal. And this is all using Catur Jatis, so we're not doing Tisra today. And then you're going to get introduced as well to a concept that most people don't know, and Bhima Karma helped to teach how to find D-high structures, and we can talk about how to take any taal and formulate all the different types of D-highs, and there's so many different forms. A lot of people don't know how to break up A lot of people just know, like, the standard kind of D-high structures for 4/4, but even there's extra ones that people aren't familiar with. So we'll introduce a little bit of information about the Lofa taal, just the simple D-high structure from Rama Rama, and that will give you a nice hand practice to start learning that D-high structure and to practice your Teketake tereketas. So a lot of these mantras, so I've learned Mridanga a certain way, and I've practiced 10 years, so many hatutis and so many hand practices that are out of taal, and so I haven't practiced many of these. Most of these, like, I just wrote this yesterday for this practice, and so I'm not like at the level where I can play them super fast and I even know exactly what they are. I'm gonna have to go back in a year or two after I finish this work and then teach myself Mridanga again, probably based on all this stuff. But if you're wondering why I don't know them super well, it's because most of this stuff has all been changed, and a lot of them are the same mantras I've learned, but even changing one little thing, like I remembered it in an exact way. So anyways, that's just a bit of a heads up. We're learning together here. So now we've got Dere, Dere, deregena. So this is all going to be in Lofa taal. So we're looking at Catur Jati, 2s or 4s, and Lofa taal 6/8 time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you always have to have 6 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, genas for deregena. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dere, dere, deregena, deregena. Dere, dere, deregeta, tereketa. Dere, dere, deregena. Dere, dere, deregena, deregena. Dere, dere, deregeta, tereketa. Dere, dere, deregena, deregena. So we'll do it in first beat first, singing Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's that. I'm not going to spend so much time because there's just so many mantras to get through. I can't do like, in half an hour class on just one mantra, because here I've got, like a lot, 7 or 8 to get through, and I'd like to get through the Daspahara side of it as well. But there's not enough time, so we'll have to break this up in the 2 classes. So double speed of that. Dere, dere, deregena, deregena, dere, dere, deregena, deregena. That's singing at half speed. You can sing normal. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You'll notice in kirtan, the singers, they can extend. The taal stays the same, but the singer might be taking, they could go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's like the double speed of singing, or you can go, Hare Krishna. That's regular speed, or you can extend it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But the beat still will stay the same. Generally, if you're playing faster like that, the singer will tend to like to extend so that they're not feeling rushed in their singing. So you might be playing, and the singer, instead of feeling rushed, will then play half speed singing to that, which I'm sure some people might be familiar with that concept. So I'll do that again. First speed, second speed. Dere, dere, deregena, deregena. And I'll show in the description how that's written. So I'm going to start writing the mantras so you can actually see what a written mantra looks like in double speed or single speed. You can write a mantra anyway, so it has, certain spacing, but generally I'll write, the mantras as if you're playing in single speed. If the double speed mantras, then they'll always be written in double. But in this case, I'm showing you how to change it. So instead of going dere, dere, deregena for single speed, six beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going dere, dere, deregena for 3. So it's compressed and into double. But you have to know how it feels. Dere, dere, deregena. So you have to know where it fits, If you don't know where the taal sits, and if you put those emphasis in different places, then this is how your playing starts to disconnect, and then when you want to play fast you can't, or if you do, you lose the singer, the karta players, or the whole kind of kirtan just breaks down. So learning these principles really helps you to be able to do what you want and not kind of screw the kirtan up too much. Although, you can always go off beat sometimes, or speed up or slow down by accident, but at least you have the concept of where the beat is, Dere, dere, deregena, 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 deregena. So next mantra, 6 again, Lofa taal, Catur Jati. I'm going to just keep pounding these terms so that we know what we're doing. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. Genetere, keta. Genetere, keta. So we have 3 what are called mantras here. We're feeling 1, 2, 3. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. So we're not working in Catur Jati, but we're working in Catur Jati in kind of blocks of 3s, where it's gena, tere, keta, teretere, keta. What makes it easier to break things up rather than, deredere, deregena, which is kind of like, one piece of deredere, deregena. It's a little harder to work with those blocks sometimes, putting it into 6s or 3s in terms of a taal. So now we're giving you blocks of 2 from Catur Jati that fill 3 and 3 in an even feel. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta, 3. So again, this is that open hit, ge, gene, tere, and if you're going k or gay, it's a ne instead of re. Gene, tere, gene, tere. Gene, remember this open hit, ge, as I'm hitting this hand opens. Gene, open, palm facing up, twist the wrist so the thumb hits the Mridanga. That's all you have to do. Boom. You want it to kind of hit in the middle, just like your tere. Now the hand kind of sits at the bottom of the chakra. Boom. Boom. Gene, gene, gene. Gene, te. So this you learn from this dere, tere, tere. So when your thumb is here, now you know how to come back to the te. So now we're adding a different technique. We're going gene. Now you're here, now te. Genetere, keta. Teretere, keta. Kenetere, keta. Teretere, keta. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. Kenetere, keta, teretere. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. Genetere, keta, teretere, keta. Genetere, keta, So this is important. You always have gena, deregena, or deregena. So there's a lot of Mridangas based on that. Catur Jati in 4s, Genetere, or Catur Jati in 3s, Genetere. And it gets even more confusing because Genetere's turn into something else later. And as you can play those in double speed, you can choose to use them in, they become like a Tisra Jati mantra, or you can use them in different cases where, you know, because it's in double speed, it fits just on one hit. So, Gerga. Lots of different ways of using these mantras. Genetere, tereketa. Okay, so singing. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I must have missed something on the first part there because I ended up on the gay. We'll do it once more. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the double speed of that is Genetere, keta. Oh, let's phrase it properly. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa is technically how it phrases in taal. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa. Now you can't obviously try to play it like that, but you need to know how it's phrased so that you can, you know, let's see here. Genetere, keta, so you know that's your second beat. Genetere, keta. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa, 3. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa. Genetere, ketatere. And then so that second tere. Genetere, keta. This one's soft, tere. Tereketa. In order to get that beat nicely. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa. Genetere, ketatere, tereketa. Genetere, keta. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Missed something at the end there, but you get the point. playing at that speed, it's like almost impossible to speak the mantra, but you can say it in your mind at least. Don't just practice and don't speak, but at least say it in your mind because your mind can go a lot faster. So I'm thinking Genetere, keta, teretere, kenetate, teretere in my mind. Or, you can sing as well. Anyways, moving on. I don't get the liberty of editing and having everything look perfect. Obviously, in kirtan it's easier when you're trying to teach and you're on video and you got a lot of stuff to go through and you don't have much time. It's hard to get everything perfect, but you get the point and you get to sit at home and make it perfect and go over everything nicely yourself. That's really the point. Being super expert at Mridanga, and certainly lots of people are, but being expert at doing something and being expert at being able to explain it in a way that other people can digest, those are two different things and two different talents. I haven't even honestly played Mridanga in like 8 months. I haven't, my hands are stiff and I haven't been playing. I've just been focusing on the the philosophy of Mridanga and understanding a lot of the nuances that haven't been explained to me, and trying to produce a system that I feel other people will benefit from. So anyways, yeah, watching videos and being like, oh, this person's great at Mridanga, this person isn't so good. It's about the knowledge that they have, and you can watch so many people and learn anything from them. Essentially, there's always something that you can learn from someone. Genetere, keta, tere, keta. So we've gone through that. Okay. So now I'm going to do this kind of backwards. We're going to introduce Teketake, tereketa in Lofa rather than introducing it in the standard form that people are familiar with in Das Bahara. So te, ke, ta, ke. Teketake, tereketa. So that's 4. Teketake, tereketa. So we need something else to fill. Teketake doesn't break up so well into different things, especially if you have like teketake, tereketa. We don't have enough bowls to really make it like a beautiful mantra yet, so we're just going to do 2 tereketas at the end, which works nicely. So teketake, tereketa, tereketa for 6. Teketake, tereketa, tereketa. So you're practicing your tereketas, and now you're adding little extra bowls for fun, Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Double speed. So the next one we have is Taka tereketa, Taka tereketa. So before we're going Teketake tereketa, now another version is Taka tereketa, Taka tereketa. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Takatele, get the takatele. Hare So something was awry in that first exposition, but I got it right in the second part. Tereketa, keta, tereketa, keta, tereketa, keta, tereketa, keta. Generally, these mantras, most of this kind of hand practice stuff generally translates to double speed, and normally you're not playing Taka, Dere, you're using it in double speed because it sounds a lot better, and the whole point is to be able to get up to more impressive speeds, more impressive mantras, and but as a beginner you can go in and you can chant Hare Krishna and go Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna. Why not? So this is taken from the mantra Teketake, tereketa, Ketetake, tereketa. So now we're going to do the second part. We've just done Teketake, tereketa, tereketa. We've done Taka, tereketa, Taka, tereketa. Now we're going to use kete. So again, kete. Bablu teaches keta, but it's not a ta, and there's no need for it to be a ta. It doesn't make any sense to me. So ketetake, tereketa, tereketa. Again, open hit. Kete, ketetake, tereketa, ketetake. Ketetake, tereketa, tereketa, ketetake, tereketa, ketetake, kete, 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 ketetake, tereketa, tereketa. Hare Krsna. Let me see here. Where are we? I'm getting confused now. Ketetake, tereketa. Hare Krsna. I was confused because we were just looking at Genetere, ketatere, tereketa, which is set up in Genetere 3s, and then here we're back to kind of more 4 and then 2 on the end. So I was just seeing what we were playing here. Ketetake, tereketa, tereketa, Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's a good hand practice. We're learning it in Lofa taal, which is great. And okay, so the last 2 versions of this before we do a mantra that kind of pulls everything together. So now instead of ketetake, tereketa, tereketa, we're going ketetake, ketetake. Wait, ketetake, ketetake, tereketa. So now we're breaking it up more. So if you want to have ketetake, ketetake. Better hand practice. It's also fun to play in kirtan. It's got a little bit more punch, more emphasis. You're going to learn, through this system that you can take pieces of anything, expand them, condense them, take this little piece, take a whole bunch of pieces and put them together and make it long. And there's so many things, there's no right or wrong answer. You have the pieces, You have all the D-high structures, which will explain what the rules and regulations are. Then this is not speculation. This is knowing the system, knowing how to take any taal and find what the D-high structure is, knowing the hits of the Mridanga, how to hit it, knowing the language, the bowls, and knowing the the standard Gaudiya Vaishnav style of playing and the sampradayas that have been laid out for us. And once you know those basics, then you can expand on it with intelligence. It's not speculating. Whereas like 10 years ago, if I didn't know anything about Mridanga, I had no way of even doing this. But I mean, you can speculate, and lots of people do. But there's a point where if you don't know enough of what it should be, then your speculations don't fall in line necessarily with what the sampradayas should be offering in a kirtan. So with knowledge and correct teaching, being able to play Mridanga really is up to you. It becomes more more of a spontaneous offering to Krishna, but the spontaneity comes from a place of knowledge rather than just emotion, with some speculation involved. Ketetake, ketetake, tereketa. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This really trains your K to get faster, and it trains your wrist to move this way really nicely. So the next one, Teketake, Teketake, tereketa, Teketake, Teketake, tereketa, Teketake, tereketa, tereketa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So that's the first speed. There you go, second. Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare back to first being Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, So that's quite a bit of stuff to work on. Should be fun. I'm gonna try to show this if I can remember how to play it. I put this together last night because, as I said, I've got like hundreds and hundreds of these mantras and hatutis and hand practices that are all basically in 4/4 time. And I've just recently decided I was going to do like that and then do Lofa separately, but now I want to kind of do them in tandem, so everything comes up together, and it's a good challenge for me to learn how to write everything in Lofa taal as well. So this is going to start right from Hare Krishna, go right through to Hare Rama, and introduce a D-high at the end using tereketa. And it's an all in double speed. So I'll read it out, but you'll see it in the description. So it's Teketake, tereketa, tereketa, ketetake, tereketa, tereketa. Teketake, tereketa, tereketa, ketetake, tereketa, tereketa. So that's what we've learned above, and it's stretched out. So you've got the full mantra 2 times. Mridanga works, pardon me, taking the largest version and breaking it down more and more into its smallest pieces. And this is generally the system used as a form of exposition. Sounds really cool, and it teaches you each component of a mantra, and it also it really trains your hand nicely as well, because you can't get away. Like any piece or any flaw that you have in your hand or your system will be found out, because if you're struggling with one part of a mantra, then you're going to find it as you break it down. So then the next part, we got Teketake, tereketa, tereketa, teketake, tereketa, tereketa. So now we're just going Teketake, tereketa, tereketa, no ketetake, tereketa. That's expanded out. Then we have ketetake, tereketa, tereketa, ketetake, tereketa, tereketa. That's expanded out. Then teketake, teketake, tereketa, kenetake, kenetake, tereketa. Then the D-high, tereketa, tereketa, ja, do, tereketa, tereketa, ja, do, tereketa, tereketa. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do like the first piece and the second piece. Hare Krsna, Hare Krsna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's the first part. Second part now is, let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So Teketake, teketake, tereketa, kenetake, kenetake, tereketa. Start it again. So that was one version of it, but I want to make sure that I got it how I'm going to show you. Teketake, teketake, tereketa, kenetake, kenetake, tereketa. Yeah, so it starts there. It's missing something here. But anyways, the first way I showed it works as well. But alright, I paused the video there for a second because I was just missing something, and I had too much written. I couldn't tell where the space was. So let's go over this once more. So the second part, starting from Hare Rama, is Teketake, teketake, tereketa, ketetake, ketetake, tereketa, times 2. Teketake, teketake, tereketa. So now we gotta describe the D-high here, and we'll have to go through the whole thing again. Now there's a lot of information here, but it will make sense when you see in the description. So the D-highs, one way of doing it is starting from Rama Rama, just like you would in Das Bahara Taal with Lofa. And so we're going deregena, deregena, ja, 1, 2, deregena, deregena, ja, 1, 2, deregena, tereketa. Now the whole concept of D-highs is that you want the D-high to have 3 equal parts, and you need the last part of it. So we're going tereketa, tereketa, ja. Forget about the spaces. Tereketa, tereketa, ja. Tereketa, tereketa, and then the ja of the da you need for your mantra starting again after the Rama Rama back on Hare Krishna. So that ja, your D-high has to be structured so that it phrases properly. You can't have tereketa, tereketa ja, tereketa, tereketa ja, tereketa, tereketa ja, ja, because it's not broken up properly in terms of how the system's supposed to be. So for 12, one way of doing it from the Rama Rama is you go tereketa ja with 2 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then tereketa ja 1, 2, tereketa ja 1, 2, tereketa. So let's see here. Tereketa ja 1, 2, tereketa ja 1, 2, tereketa da dini. Back to the mantra. Not a lot of people know this structure. This is definitely courtesy of Bhima Karma Prabhu, finding this philosophy and helping me to understand how to find dihas, and he explained, some of these principles. So let's just work on the diha. Tereketa ja ek do. Tereketa ja ek do. Tereketa da dini da dini. So like this. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Teketake da dini. So that's how the diha structure works. It doesn't have to be tereketa. We can just go tereketa ja ek do. Like tereketa ja ek do, tereketa ja, tereketa ja ek do, tereketa ja ek do, tereketa. But since we're practicing hand practice and the whole rest of the mantras in double speed, then the diha needs to be in double speed as well. Although Bablu does teach a lot of mantras where you're switching between double and single, which is cool as well. So, the whole back end can be double speed, and then you can go into a single speed. So let's see something like that. So you go. Ja, ek, do. Hare. So you can also do like that. So anyways, I guess we've got the point of that. You can see the whole mantra in the description. I'm not going to go through it again. There's a lot to go through. But this would be really nice to learn efficiently. And then you can play this whole thing starting from Hare Rama, and it will sound super cool. And you got your D-high at the end, and why not? So let's see. I've got another even more cool version of this, which is taken from an idea that Bablu gave. So we'll go over that next time. We'll go over Teketake, tereketa in the traditional Das Behera, tidy all that up in the next class. And then I think it's time to get into Gena ja and Dagudugur and starting to bring that up. Okay, Hare Krishna.